I'm John Schrott, and this is On the Spot with IKM. Today we're going to be talking with one of our principals, Tami Greene, who has this incredible passion for making sure architecture works with the genders, and particularly women, designing for women. So a lot of us just think architects design for both sexes, but you've really brought to the forefront this concept of the difference between men and women. And when we're designing facilities for women, there's differences. What are some of those major differences, Tami?
Well, I think that it first starts with, how women and men are built differently. We have different senses. We perceive our built environment differently. So how we perceive color is different because the number of cones in our eyes. We're more sensitive to smell. We can hear multiple sources of sound at one time. So when you think about designing a healthcare facility, you need to think about those senses and how you can appeal to those senses and their preferences. So for instance, if I'm designing a waiting room, I might think about a few different sources of sound so that I'm masking private information that's being shared at the front desk. So for a female facility like a breast center, that waiting room might have a water feature, it might have some music playing, it might have another sound source, so that the women can't filter through 3 sound sources and hear the conversation at the front desk.
Well, because honestly, women are better at multitasking,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And males are more focused.
They hear one sound source and
that's
perceive
fascinating.
one sound source
Yeah.
at a time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are some other things? So you're saying that women perceive colors different than men do.
Yes, not all, but many women can perceive multiple hues of color. So when men might say it's brown, it's green, it's blue, women will say, it's a sea green, it's a cranberry red, because there's so many different versions of red that their eyes can see. Not all, but many women have more cones that perceive the different colors that they're looking at. Quite often, when we're reviewing interior finishes with an owner or user group, they'll call the women in the room. And many of the men will say, I'm colorblind, because there are a lot more males that are colorblind. So all of those things play a role in how we design for women. And also their preferences, because women, it's been proven through research that women perceive muted colors, they like texture, they like complexity of pattern, they don't like stark contrast of colors. They don't like sharp edges and sharp corners in design. So a lot of curved walls, mosaic tile on the wall, muted colors that all blend, but still a complexity of pattern in fabric and finishes is very important and is proven to be appealing to women more than men.
So let's explore a little bit the difference between sharp, angular, and curvilinear. How do you do that from an architectural perspective?
So it might be something in plan. So every sharp 90-degree corner, where you're going to, like a chord or something, we're going to ease those edges. And in plan, we're going to make those curved corners instead of a sharp 90-degree corner. It could be just the layout of some floor patterns. We might have a wave in the floor pattern. Or it could be in a vertical plane. There might be a bulkhead or something over a reception desk that has a curve to it. The reception desk isn't a sharp angle, it has a curve to it. All those very subtle, free-flowing, more natural elements in a space is just appealing to women. Most women. Not all, but most women.
Do you think a male using a space that is designed primarily for females, do you think that improves the male experience?
I don't know. I think that, when you look at it, even outside of architecture design, internet web page design or car design, it's just that men that design and products that appeal to men do have sharp angles and contrasting colors. It's just the way that the nature of the preferences are. So I imagine a male in a space with a lot of curves might not feel uncomfortable, but might not feel like the space is on maybe a subconscious level designed for them. The goal is to wrap the design of the space around what a woman feels comfortable in. She might not know why she feels comfortable in that space, but we're aiming to achieve something that just she has less stress in.
So a lot of this is really designing for the subconscious.
Correct.
Yeah, fascinating. So I know you have a lot more to say, but we're limited on time. Is there one thing you want to leave everybody with in terms of designing for women?
I think that it's important to remember that gender is not the only driving force. Our backgrounds, how we are raised, the culture we're raised with, all influence our preferences. So it's not just gender. But I think that, being a female architect, I was always curious about how I design for women differently than men, and how how I can use that to help women have a stress-free experience. So I think that we, as designers, both male and women, should think about who we're designing for, whether it be gender, culture, or whatever else those preferences are, and really fine-tune that design to have the right environment for the people that are inside those buildings.
That's a really great point. Thanks for being on the spot. Until next time.